When watching a rocket launch, most people focus on the enormous flames, the deafening roar of the engines, and the incredible power that lifts a vehicle weighing hundreds or even thousands of tons into the sky. Yet behind every successful launch is something far less visible, but absolutely essential: rocket fuel. Without it, no satellite would reach orbit, no astronauts would travel to the moon, and no spacecraft would ever leave Earth to explore the solar system. At first glance, rocket fuel might seem like nothing more than an extremely powerful version of gasoline. In reality, it is completely different. A car engine burns gasoline by mixing it with oxygen taken directly from the surrounding air. As long as the engine can breathe, combustion continues. A rocket, however, must operate where there is no air at all. Once it leaves Earth's atmosphere and enters the vacuum of space, there is no oxygen available for combustion. This means a rocket cannot rely on the environment to support its engine. Instead, it must carry everything needed for the chemical reaction inside the vehicle itself. That is why every chemical rocket carries not only fuel, but also an oxidizer. The fuel stores chemical energy, while the oxidizer provides the oxygen required for combustion. Together, they create one of the most energetic controlled chemical reactions humans have ever mastered. If you like similar educational content, please like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends. This is one of the biggest differences between conventional engines and rocket engines. A passenger car only carries fuel because oxygen comes from the atmosphere. A rocket must transport both components, which is why fuel and oxidizer often account for more than 80 to 90% of a rocket's total launch mass. But how does a rocket engine actually produce thrust? The answer comes from Newton's third law of motion, which states that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Inside the rocket engine, fuel and oxidizer are mixed and ignited in the combustion chamber. The chemical reaction produces gases at temperatures often exceeding 3,000 degrees, while generating enormous pressure. These superheated gases are then forced through a specially shaped Laval nozzle. Inside the nozzle, pressure is converted into velocity, accelerating the exhaust to several kilometers per second before it leaves the engine. Because the gases are expelled backward at extremely high speed, the rocket is pushed forward with an equal force. Contrary to a common misconception, rockets do not push against the air. They work perfectly well in the vacuum of space because thrust comes entirely from ejecting mass in the opposite direction. Even if there were no atmosphere at all, the engine would continue to accelerate the spacecraft. Designing the ideal rocket fuel is one of the greatest challenges in aerospace engineering. Engineers want a fuel that stores as much energy as possible, is lightweight, easy to handle, safe to transport, inexpensive to produce, and capable of delivering maximum performance. Unfortunately, no single fuel satisfies all of these requirements. As a result, engineers have developed several different categories of rocket propellants. Some are liquids, some are solids, and others combine both technologies. Each type has its own strengths, weaknesses, and ideal applications, from launching satellites into orbit to sending spacecraft on missions to distant planets. Modern rockets use three main categories of propellants: liquid propellants, solid propellants, and hybrid propellants. Although all of them are designed to produce thrust by rapidly expelling hot gases, they work in very different ways and are suited for different types of missions. The most efficient chemical rocket engines generally use liquid propellants. In these systems, the fuel and the oxidizer are stored separately in large tanks. Before entering the combustion chamber, they are pumped through an incredibly complex system of pipes and high-speed turbopumps, capable of delivering hundreds of kilograms of propellant every second under enormous pressure. Only when the two liquids meet inside the combustion chamber do they ignite and begin releasing their stored chemical energy. One of the most powerful propellant combinations ever developed is liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. Hydrogen is the lightest element in the universe and contains an enormous amount of energy per unit of mass. When it burns with oxygen, the primary exhaust product is simply water vapor, making it one of the cleanest chemical rocket fuels available. This combination delivers one of the highest efficiencies of any chemical rocket engine and has powered some of history's most famous launch vehicles, including the Space Shuttle main engines, NASA's Space Launch System, and the upper stages of several European Ariane rockets. However, liquid hydrogen also presents major engineering challenges. It must be stored at approximately 253 degrees C, just 20 degrees above absolute zero, while liquid oxygen remains at about 183 degrees C. Maintaining these cryogenic temperatures requires heavily insulated tanks, and even then, a small amount of propellant constantly boils away. For this reason, many rockets instead use a combination of liquid oxygen and RP-1, a highly refined form of rocket-grade kerosene. RP-1 is far denser than liquid hydrogen, allowing engineers to build much smaller fuel tanks. Although it provides slightly lower efficiency, its higher density and easier handling make it ideal for the first stage of launch vehicles. This combination powered the legendary Saturn V rocket that carried astronauts to the moon and is still used today by SpaceX's Falcon 9, one of the world's most frequently launched rockets. Another propellant gaining popularity is liquid methane. When burned with liquid oxygen, methane offers an excellent balance between performance, cost, and engine reusability. Unlike kerosene, methane produces much less carbon buildup inside the engine, making repeated flights easier and reducing maintenance. That is one of the reasons why SpaceX's Starship, Blue Origin's New Glenn, and several next-generation launch systems have adopted methane as their primary fuel. The second major category is solid rocket propellant. Unlike liquid engines, where fuel and oxidizer remain separate until combustion, solid propellants combine both ingredients into a single solid material before launch. A typical solid propellant contains powdered aluminum as the fuel, ammonium perchlorate as the oxidizer, and a special polymer that acts both as a binder and an additional fuel source. After mixing, the material is poured directly into the rocket motor casing, where it cures into a solid block, resembling extremely hard rubber. Once ignited, a solid rocket motor burns continuously until all of its propellant has been consumed. Its greatest advantage is simplicity. Solid rocket motors contain no turbopumps, valves, or complex plumbing, making them highly reliable and capable of remaining stored for years while still being ready for immediate launch. This is why they are widely used in military missiles and as powerful booster rockets on large launch vehicles. Their biggest disadvantage is the lack of control. After ignition, the burn rate cannot easily be adjusted, throttled, or stopped. The motor continues producing thrust until every gram of propellant has burned away. Manufacturing rocket propellant is one of the most demanding processes in modern chemical engineering. It is not enough to create a substance that simply burns well. Every ingredient must meet extremely strict standards for chemical purity, stability, energy content, density, and temperature resistance. Even the smallest impurity or manufacturing defect can affect combustion, reduce engine performance, or in the worst case, cause a catastrophic explosion. For liquid rocket propellants, production begins with manufacturing or refining each individual component. Take RP-1 rocket-grade kerosene, for example. Although it resembles aviation fuel, it is produced to much higher standards. During refining, unwanted compounds such as sulfur, aromatic hydrocarbons, and contaminants are removed because they can create carbon deposits inside rocket engines. Cleaner combustion improves reliability, extends engine life, and is especially important for reusable rockets. The production of liquid oxygen begins with ordinary air. Earth's atmosphere contains about 21% oxygen, along with nitrogen and several other gases. In large industrial plants, air is compressed, cooled to extremely low temperatures, and transformed into a liquid. Engineers then separate the different gases through a process known as fractional distillation, producing highly purified liquid oxygen ready for use in rocket engines. Producing liquid hydrogen is even more challenging. Hydrogen is first generated using industrial methods such as steam methane reforming or electrolysis of water. It is then cooled to approximately 253 degrees, only about 20 degrees above absolute zero. At this temperature, hydrogen becomes a liquid and can be stored in specially designed cryogenic tanks that minimize heat transfer from the environment. Solid rocket propellants are manufactured in a completely different way. The fuel, oxidizer, Metal powders and polymer binders are carefully weighed and mixed together inside specially designed facilities. Because the mixture already contains both fuel and oxidizer, it is extremely energetic and must be handled with extraordinary care. Even static electricity, excessive vibration, or a small spark could trigger an accidental ignition. Once the ingredients are thoroughly mixed, the material is poured directly into the rocket motor casing. Over the following days or even weeks, the mixture cures into a solid block. The internal shape of this solid propellant is carefully engineered. Engineers often create a hollow channel running through the center of the motor. As combustion progresses along this surface, the geometry controls how quickly the propellant burns, how much thrust the engine produces, and how that thrust changes throughout the flight. Between liquid and solid systems lies a third option, the hybrid rocket engine. Hybrid rockets combine the advantages of both technologies. Typically, the fuel remains solid while the oxidizer is stored as a liquid. Because combustion only occurs when the liquid oxidizer flows into the combustion chamber, engineers can regulate the engine's thrust and even shut it down if necessary. This provides greater safety and flexibility than traditional solid rocket motors, while remaining mechanically simpler than fully liquid engines. Developing a completely new rocket propellant is an incredibly long and expensive process. Scientists may spend decades testing hundreds of different chemical formulations. Every candidate fuel undergoes thousands of laboratory experiments and full-scale engine tests. Engineers carefully measure combustion temperature, burn rate, chamber pressure, exhaust velocity, stability, storage life, toxicity, and overall safety before a propellant is ever approved for use on an actual launch vehicle. Even after years of successful testing, every production batch must undergo strict quality control to ensure that every rocket performs exactly as expected. For this reason, engineers have spent decades developing entirely new forms of spacecraft propulsion. One example is the ion engine. Instead of burning fuel, ion engines use electricity to accelerate charged particles through powerful electric fields. Their thrust is extremely small, often no stronger than the weight of a sheet of paper resting on your hand, but they can operate continuously for months or even years. Over long periods, this steady acceleration allows spacecraft to reach remarkable speeds while consuming very little propellant. Another promising technology is the nuclear thermal rocket. Instead of generating heat through combustion, these engines use a nuclear reactor to heat hydrogen to extremely high temperatures before expelling it through a nozzle. In theory, nuclear thermal propulsion could achieve nearly twice the efficiency of today's best chemical rockets, significantly reducing travel times for future missions to Mars. Scientists are also investigating nuclear electric propulsion, plasma engines, solar sails, and even futuristic concepts involving fusion propulsion or laser-powered spacecraft. While many of these technologies remain experimental, they could one day enable faster exploration of the solar system and perhaps even journeys to nearby stars. Even so, chemical rocket propellants remain irreplaceable for launching spacecraft from Earth. No other propulsion system currently produces enough thrust to overcome Earth's gravity and lift hundreds or thousands of tons into orbit within just a few minutes. That is why every major launch vehicle in operation today, from Falcon 9 and Ariane 6 to NASA's Space Launch System and SpaceX's Starship, still relies on chemical rocket propulsion. Rocket fuel is therefore far more than just a flammable liquid or a block of solid propellant. It represents decades of research in chemistry, physics, materials science, thermodynamics, and aerospace engineering. It has enabled humanity to launch thousands of satellites, send astronauts to the moon, explore every planet in our solar system, and continue pushing the boundaries of space exploration.